Hello, how are you? How are you guys? How are you doing? Hi, Lisa. Hello, how are you? Thank you for those that have joined to today's live, and also thank you for the likes. Yeah, I can see today we are doing quite well. We have also started on a very nice note. Today I want us to look at the fake things in the farming sector. But before we look at that, can I maybe get to know how you people are doing? Hi, how are you? How is everyone? How is everyone? Those that are new to this channel, welcome. Consider subscribing to this channel. Karibuni sana. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Can I know how people are doing? I can see Lisa has said hello to you. I hope you're doing well, Lisa. Can I know the rest? The rest, how are you? Daily Facts, hi. Hello, hi to you. I hope you're good. Yeah, welcome to this channel. You can consider subscribing. And let us also like the live. Welcome everyone that is joining to this live. Welcome all. Welcome. Today I want to tell you, I've been doing a study and I've realized a lot of, there are very many things that are happening currently in the farming sector, and I'm not a happy farmer. I want us to look at those things so that you do not fall a victim. I hope you all are doing well. At least now I can see two people have said hi. I think we can begin today's live. I want this live to be an interactive live where we all get a chance to contribute and say, what have you noticed from the region that you are in that people are really tending to mess up with this farming sector? I want to know, what have you noticed as a person, where you're living from or where you live at? What have you seen people do that is really making farming sector a living hell? I hope I'm audible. Am I audible? Hoping I'm audible. Thank you for the many likes. Subscribe also to this channel, guys. Welcome all. Lots of love. Today I can see the love is so much. Today the love is so much. I'm grateful. Hi Milan. Jeeves said hi. How are you? So welcome all as you continue to join today's live. If you're new or if it's the first time you're seeing me or if it's the first time you're seeing this face, you can consider subscribing to this channel and also liking the live. Sylvia, hi. Thank you. I can see all of you have really contributed, or everyone is saying hi. For those that are here, even as you continue joining the live, you can still say hi. I'll be responding to your comments. So as we begin today's live, I want us to look at the fake things in the farming sector. People are really messing up with this farming sector in very many different ways. Some of them are with the farmers and others are even not in the farming sector. Therefore, we should be very careful so that we do not become victims of the fake things that are happening around the farming sector. Before I can share my observations or what I've realized about the farming sector. Has anyone noticed something fishy in the farming sector? Maybe let's interact in the comment section. Today I want us to have an interactive live session where you tell me what have you observed, and I will tell you if it is happening in the same, if the same is happening where I am living. I hope you all are fine. Since we all interacted first, I want to, maybe I'll take it from general to the detailed views. From the general perspective, is the things that we are buying as the farmers. From the farming equipment, people have really started developing very fake equipment. You'll find you'll buy, for example, a hoe, and you will not even dig with it for 2 seasons. A panga, nowadays even pangas are literally breaking. And it's something that I've realized. I don't know if it's the economy that is that bad, but people are really producing some fake items. And maybe some people are always say that if you buy the most expensive things, they'll tend to have a very good quality. I want to assure you that that is not true. I've bought very many expensive things from my farm, and I can say 60% of the things I've bought, they have not even given me the service that will cater for the cost that I invested in purchasing those equipment. Okay, Sylvia says fake chemicals, I mean pesticides. Yes, that is very true. People are really selling fake pesticides. Once you spray those pesticides, it's like you did nothing to your farm. And imagine you will have invested a lot of money maybe in buying those chemicals. That is why I told you all, let us be very keen, be very cautious, and let us also be very investigative farmers. Let us try to do a study and in order to know which are the original things. How do the original things look like? How are the what do we expect? Huh? And also, nowadays it's very difficult even to distinguish between the original and the fake. So once you're going to purchase those chemicals, for example, as Sylvia said, the pesticides, once you go to buy those chemicals, please buy from a trusted farmer's store where you know someone will at least give you a distinctive difference, or someone will sell you those chemicals without, I don't know if it is the people have really become that harsh, or I don't know, the humanity is no longer there, but have that once trusted vendor that you can get your chemicals from. For example, the pesticides. Imagine you need to deal with the pest in your farm quite fast and within a short duration of time to evade those losses, and you realize that someone somewhere thought of even selling you a fake chemical. Remember, you had budgeted for the amount of money that you are willing to invest in the purchase of that chemical. Once you come and spray the chemical, you have incurred the labor cost among many other things, because you will definitely need some labor when you will be spraying your farm. And after you do all that, it's when you realize that this pesticide is not even effective. It is a fake pesticide. Imagine you will have gone through an entire loss as a person or as a farmer, because at the end of the day you will now have to look again for money that you will use to buy the same pesticide again, so that you can take care of the pests that are affecting your farm. Again, you will also have to incur the cost of labor. Now, this is really an irritating habit. If please we can maybe spread awareness, and if you are among those fake producers of these chemicals, please be a little humane. At least provide something that will deal with this problem at least halfway. How do you sell me something that will completely not even be effective to my farm? That is really a very bad thing. From the machines now to the chemicals, people are really doing a lot of evil things in this farming sector. I also realized that someone will sell you something fake for the first time, you go try it, it fails, and then they'll sell you the original thing the second time. Now what do you want me to do? It means you are running your own business where you want to make the profits, double profits that you're not supposed to make. Okay, so that is really irritating once you look at those things, the chemicals. Can we talk even about the fake animal feed? Have you purchased these meals, or maybe the food that the pigs consume, or the now what do I call it, or the cows? There is this kuna unga that you give these animals. I don't know the better term in English that I can use. You realize these people are telling you this meal has this and this and this nutrients, but once you start feeding the meal to your livestock or to your animals, you realize that you're not getting the produce that you expected to get as a farmer after you used those meals to your animals. Therefore, you find it is very discouraging. For example, if you place you're processing these meals that we buy from these farming stores each and every day, please at least consider giving us a meal that has at least the nutrients that we are looking for. Okay, sell what you mean to sell, or sell what you're supposed to sell. Because if you do not sell to me an original thing, it means then I'm investing my money for no apparent reason. I'd rather look for other natural ways that I can maybe feed my livestock in order to get the profit that I need. For example, the egg laying chicken, you all know they entirely depend on that chicken feed for the nutrients that they require to produce the eggs. So once you sell for me a fake chicken feed, it means the expectation that I was the amount of produce that I was expecting to get from my chicken, or the number of eggs that maybe I was to collect per day, is not what I will collect, because these chicken are not getting the nutrients from the feed that I had purchased. Therefore, that is very bad. Please be cautious and note, let people not scam you in that chicken rearing field. Please be cautious of the feed that you buy. Ensure you buy the original feeds, or the feeds that will help your chicken produce effectively. Also, do a research in order to know which is the best company that I can buy from. There are very many companies producing these animal feeds, so do a research. Be close to other farmers. Let the other farmers share with you which of those animal feeds that they have bought, and that are the animal feeds that helped them personally. You also need to be cautious when it comes to the cattle, that is the dairy cattle. The dairy cattle have this feed that is used to boost their milk production. And I've also realized that many people are just selling us, I don't know what are those. Even by opening that sack, you can tell this is not what I intended to buy as a farmer. And you end up feeding those animals that feed, expecting to get a lot of profit at the end of the day. And it gets to a point that you realize it's better even not buying that feed, because it's not boosting the production levels of your cows or of your cattle. Therefore, please also do a research and know which company is producing the best and which company is cautious of what they are producing, and look for those companies that produce the nutrients that you personally require as a farmer. Therefore, let us be close farmers. We can also share on what has worked for you. Let the other person know it really worked for you, so that they can use it effectively. Also, if you are in the pig sector, one thing I've realized about the pig sector is now the piglet feed. The piglet feed is really not of the quality of those piglets to help them grow or mature effectively. Once you start feeding your piglets, it means they will not be taking the milk, or they will not be taking the milk from the pig, from the mother pig, if I can call it that way. Therefore, once you start feeding them entirely with this, of course, you start feeding the piglets with the piglet feed. Imagine now these pigs are from taking milk, piglets are from taking milk. You have excluded them from that milk, and now once you start feeding them, you're feeding them with a feed that does not really have all the required nutrients. It means the probability of these piglets surviving is very low, and the profit that you will get at the end of the day, if you're deciding either to nurture the piglets to entirely become pigs, if you're deciding to sell those piglets, it means that at the end of the day, the profits that you will get will be really minimal. So let us be observant on that sector of the feeds that we decide to buy. Also, let's be observant about the chemical sector, either the chemicals dealing with the pesticides, or the chemicals dealing with the various diseases that affect various types of crops. Also, let us not be neglective farmers in such a way that you notice the disease when it's too late, or you notice the effect of the pest when it is too late. If you let that if you let the pest and the diseases affect your farm, or you take a long time before you do the corrective measure when it comes to the pest and the diseases in your farm, it doesn't matter the type of chemical that you will buy. When it is the damage is too much, you cannot control a damage that is too much. You have also to be very cautious so that you notice the pest and the diseases when they are at an early stage, and take the necessary corrective measure before it is too late. It doesn't matter if the damage is done and now you want to use a very expensive and effective chemical to your farm, you'll definitely come back saying that there's a company is selling fake chemicals, and when they sell, you start saying they're selling fake chemicals. That will not be true, because it's you as a farmer who neglected the being close to your crops, and you notice that the pest or the diseases when it's too late, and when you cannot revert whatever had happened. Okay, so one, I've said be cautious about the feeds that you are buying. There are very many fake feeds that have these on the writing, they indicate very many nutrients, but when it comes to reality, the nutrient levels in those feeds are very minimal. I don't know if you get a chance maybe to do a test when you want to check for the amount of nutrients in those feeds. It's when you realize it is too much. The feeds are really not that good. Number two, we have also said you check on the chemicals, and the chemicals that you use in your farm. People are tending to sell fake chemicals, and also you be a cautious farmer. Now, when it comes to fertilizers, do you know that field is very flooded? That field is flooded with many producers. There are many people doing the processing and the production of fertilizers, different fertilizers for different crops. Before you start also saying that they are fake as a farmer, please do a research and know which type of a fertilizer can I use to which type of a crop. Different types of crops require different types of fertilizers. For example, if you're told use a liquid fertilizer and you decide to use a pellet type of a fertilizer, you will not blame anyone for the effectiveness of that fertilizer, since you as a person decided to not follow instructions. Therefore, before you decide on the type of a crop that you will want to grow in your farm, please make sure that you have done a research on the type of the fertilizer that is supposed to be used in your farm before you start blaming people for the fake production of fertilizer. Apart from that, there are those farmers that are really now the keen farmers. You invest on knowing which type of which fertilizer is good for this type of a crop. You go and buy that fertilizer, but you find the producer has produced for you a fake fertilizer. How frustrating is it as a farmer? You invest, you budget, you know this is the type of money that I'm going to invest in the purchase of fertilizer. Also, again, you decide as a person when you'll be preparing your budget, you definitely take a price range over the appropriate amount that you will be spending on purchase of fertilizer. Once you go and buy a fertilizer that is fake, it means once you put that fertilizer in your crops, they will not boost the growth of the crop, because entirely that is why we add fertilizer in our crops, so that they can boost the growth levels, and also they can boost the productivity levels of those crops. But once you realize someone sold you a fake fertilizer, I've even realized the people are selling people the stone pellets. Now you are like, if you sell me stones as fertilizer, I will definitely be adding stones to my crops, and there is no day that you will expect those crops to boost the fertilizer, the stones that you sold to me to boost the production that I'm expecting at the end of the day. Therefore, be cautious also to note the different types of fertilizer producing companies, and also take note on the appropriate fertilizer that you can use, or the best producing company with the best fertilizer for each and every type of a crop that you can use. Any question to that part? I've really mentioned very many fake things in the farming sector. Those that are joining, welcome to this channel. Also consider subscribing and liking the live. So to the next thing that I have noticed, I have also noticed that people are using chemicals to increase on the amount of on the thickness of the milk that they are selling in the market. You will find maybe your cow has produced 20 liters of milk naturally. You want to double this production without, what can I say, without people noticing that you added water to your milk. So what you do, you buy a powder form supplement that you add to the milk. The milk becomes thicker, then you now add the water. Please, 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 this is supplements that you're adding to those milk. I heard even someone say that they are contributing to cancer. I don't know how true that is, but also as farmers, let's love our other, love other people, and let us not produce to them things that have chemicals. If you're deciding now to sell milk, if your cow has produced 20 liters, please sell those 20 liters. Do not add those things that people are adding to their milk so that you can add water and retain the thickness of the milk. No, 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 no. Please ensure that if your cow has produced 20 liters, sell those 20 liters. If you want more production, more milk production, there are various ways that you can use to increase on your milk production, either by feeding your cows with the required nutrients, feeding them effectively, ensuring that you provide water that they take, you feed your animal, your cows at the right time. So as farmers also, let us be cautious about each and everything that we do. Okay, so for those that are still joining, welcome to this channel. You can consider subscribing as we continue with our live. Another thing that people are producing fake, people are now selling, what can I call them, the fake, what, the fake products in the market. Have seen someone process fake rice at a very cheap price. So once you decide to produce plastic rice, have you heard about something with the plastic rice, to do with plastic rice? If you produce plastic rice to people, of course, the selling price of that plastic rice will definitely be cheaper than the original rice. This is because the plastic rice, you did not incur much cost. You just decided to go and look for those chemicals that you're mixing to produce that rice. Sorry. But for a farmer, we decided I want to grow my rice in my farm. First of all, rice requires a lot of effort before you get that profit that you want, or the profits that you require. Therefore, please let us be compassionate about each other, and also let us be very keen on the type of let us be keen on observing other people's health. Also, those that are using chemicals to dry their crops so that they can sell, let us try not to do these things. One thing that is really rampant, you have planted a crop. For example, I'll give an example with the onions. Now, when before your onions, you will not give your onions the period that they require for them to mature before you harvest. You realize after you have planted these onions, now it has gotten to a point where there is a lot of demand in the market. And you realize the other farmers that have grown these onions, their onions are at the same stage with your onions, and it means you will be selling these onions at the same time in the market. That is when you'll be taking your onions to the market. You decide to use the weeds chemicals to dry your onions so that you can harvest. Now imagine, now that you go and harvest those onions after you have used the weed chemicals to dry the onions so that you can harvest. Of course, you will sell them to the market and they will not be ready for consumption. Someone will just buy those onions And after they consume those onions, now they are starting to have so many complications. Same thing happening to the kales. Same thing happening to the greens. This the spinach among many other variety of greens. You people are spraying these chemicals before it is even done the period that the chemicals should last before you can harvest those greens. You harvest those greens when the duration is not yet done, and you comfortably sell them to the market. What do you expect at the end of the day? People will definitely become sick. Therefore, also as farmers, let us be considerate farmers. Any question up to that point? Any question or any comment up to that point? Those that are joining the live, welcome. Those that are joining the live, welcome. Still looking at the fake things in the farming sector. Have you also noticed that there are fake soil pH test kits? There are fake soil pH test kits. Once you use those test kits, they give you a very different reading. Your soil, they will give a different soil acid, soil pH level from what is exactly in your farm. And you'll not, it's not even easy to notice a type of a test kit, of this fake soil pH test kit. If you're not that keen, or if you're not experienced in this farming journey, you will definitely suffer the consequence of buying the fake test kits. So also be cautious. Note which are these, which company can I use, or which company will give me an effective soil pH test kit. If you please do not want to risk all that, go and look for these people in the labs. There are these organizations that are working day in and day out to make sure that the farmers get to know what is their soil pH. So they'll come to your farm and they'll test the soil pH themselves. So instead of going to incur another cost of buying a soil pH test kit and you don't know which one is the fake one or which one is the original one, you can maybe go and ask or pay for the services for those people that are doing the study of the soil pH. And once also they do your soil pH test, and you tell them the type of a crop that you want to grow, they will give you the remedies that you will require. If you need to adjust your soil pH either higher or lower, they will tell you what should you do to your farm so that you can attain the soil pH that you want. Those that are still joining, welcome. You can consider subscribing to this channel. Okay, to the next part is where I want us to look at the fake seeds. Fake seeds. I have suffered the consequence of buying fake seeds. I don't know if someone else has gone through that, But I bought fake seeds. They were maize seeds. I bought fake maize seeds. And let me tell you, they took, first of all, a very long time to germinate. And once they germinated, they started turning yellow instead of being green. And imagine, it was an entire loss that I had to suffer. That they did not grow entirely. I thought it is the fertilizer. I tried to top dress among many other things, but the maize did not pick. Remember, I've been an experienced farmer in farming maize, but that one time, I was like, let me try a new brand of maize type. I bought the seeds only for them to frustrate me. Therefore, if you're deciding to do farming, please, if you've discovered a type of a maize seeds seller that once you grow their maize, their maize, they really grow effectively and they produce to the level best that you want as a farmer, please stick to that brand. Do not try changing these brands. The moment you change brands, it's when now you'll realize you did injustice to yourself, because you will suffer the losses as a farmer without telling anyone that I'm suffering these losses, just because it was your choice for you to decide that that is what you want to probably buy. So please be observant of the fake seeds. It's not only meat, each and every thing, each and every crop that you try to grow, if you do not require to grow from scratch, if you do not require to plant the seeds, please ensure that you use a trusted brand for the production or for the purchase of the seeds that you will need to use in your farm. So be observant about the fake seeds also. It's something that is really there in the market. Any question? There are also chemicals that are fake. The weeds, the chemicals that deal with weeds, the chemicals that we are using to get rid of weeds from the farm. They are also fake chemicals. Once you use them, it's when you'll realize the weeds are not, you will still realize that the weeds are not drying or the weeds are still there. So entirely, what you have to be cautious about as a farmer is you have to ensure that you have a trusted company that you're buying from. Also, when it comes to seeds, please, if you do not have to start the crop from seeds, you can decide to buy the seedlings from these certified nurseries. I know they will definitely produce effect. They will definitely produce the best quality, because they or that they those that certified them, they do a regular check to check on the things that they are producing. Therefore, you need to always consider buying the already grown seedlings if you do not have to start from the seeds themselves. Yeah, those are among the few things that I wanted to look at as during this live. Those that are still joining, welcome. Those are the few things that I wanted to look at in this live. Therefore, I want us to go and look at the other things before we can call it a live, or before we can end the live. If there are any questions, please keep them coming. I'll be answering them. Also, let us continue enjoying the live even as we get to the other sector that I want us to get into. Hi, was that saying hi, hi? I want to give you a live viewing of a farm that someone infested fake chemicals and what is currently happening in the farm. This is a good example. Just observe this farm, I'll tell you what is happening. Hello. can see someone is saying hello, hello, how are you? So, guys, after viewing this farm, what are you noticing? Can someone tell me in the comment section? What are you noticing from this farm? It's what is grown in the farm, it's napier grass. What can you notice? What can you notice about the farm? What can you notice about the farm? I want to tell you what this farmer used that is fake.
So this farmer will not get the produce that they expect at the end of the day, because you can see, I don't know who sold him this Napier grass. He sold him the worst quality Napier grass. As you can see, this Napier grass is really not growing as it should. The second thing, the farmer used some chemicals to dry the weeds from the farm, and as you can notice, the weeds that dried, they dried in patches. This portion is dry, the other portion is not dry. The Napier grass itself is not doing so well. So as you can see, these are the consequences that we tend to suffer as farmers each and every day because of the fake things that we buy in the market. Another thing, this is not a close farmer, because I think once he sprayed his chemicals, he never came back to the farm to check on the progress. Now he will be coming to harvest the Napier grass, thinking that he will have this great sale, that he will make a lot of profit, only to come and realize that the quality of the Napier grass that was sold to him is really of poor quality. As you can see, it's the entire farm. So this is a great loss. Like for the Napier grass that he planted there is a little bit better compared to this other side. That other portion is entirely weeds. Yeah. Do you know, I'll even say I never saw this farmer spraying for the weeds, but I personally saw him spray the weeds, and now you can see the results at the end of the day. This is really frustrating. Hmm?